It's time to talk about the only thing the world keeps track of. Money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
What's poppin'? It's time to talk about finances, budget, startup, cash, all of that good stuff. Like I said, it's weird. Money is that one thing. It's the only thing the world really keeps track of, you know? And we're gonna talk about where the cash is gonna come from, because you know all of this is gonna cost a lot of money probably. And so I think we're gonna use something that we all love, coffee pods. Okay, I thought I had a lot more coffee than I did, apparently not. But, okay, let's do some quick math. Okay, all these coffee pods, you're wondering, what do they represent, what do they mean? By the way, I feel like I'm dressed like I'm about to host a game show, or like I'm going to Bali on vacation to find myself. I'm not, I've found myself, I'm here, and I'm about to do money with coffee pods. Okay, we have about 35 coffee pods here. And one coffee pod is gonna represent 2,000 Swedish crowns, which is about 200 euros or 220 US dollars. Basically, the money that I have to fund this whole project is in another company. It's an illegal entity, which I own, and so I can therefore use the money for whatever I want, obviously. Over the past year and a half, I've collected some money into this entity from other work, legal stuff, I promise. It's a social media marketing company. Like, I've been building websites, I've been doing social media strategy, I've been doing Instagram takeovers, all that kind of stuff for like a year and a half. I've bought a couple of things like a MacBook Mini. After all of that, I have about 75,000 Swedish crowns in my account right now. And therefore, we have about 35 or 36 maybe coffee pods here, and they'll represent 2,000 Swedish crowns per one. In this company that I have, I own all of the shares. But basically in Sweden, you need this thing called shareholder equity, and you need to keep 12.5k Swedish crowns, which is about 1,250 euros, $1,400. You need to keep that in your account at all times, because that's your shareholder equity essentially. Therefore, 12.5k I won't be able to touch, unfortunately. That will just be stuck in the account for good. So we're gonna move, quick maths, we're gonna move 6. This over here, shareholder equity. We're not touching this. And last year, based on my operating income, I need to pay 11,000 Swedish crowns in corporate gains taxes. Taxman is gonna have his share, his slice. I don't know where he was when I was doing all this work, but you know, that's what it's like. Gotta pay your taxes, people. Boom, we're gonna put it over there. Shareholder equity, taxes. As much as we'd love to, we're not touching that cash. Of course, like any business, I have various fixed costs like websites, domains, insurances, that kind of stuff, bank fees, and that's about 5k per year. So we're gonna take 2 and we're gonna put that over there. Fixed costs, can't touch that. You see, we're running out of coffee pods already and we haven't even gotten to the cost of this actual thing. God damn. If the math is correct, this leaves me with around 45k Swedish crowns to dedicate to this project. The most expensive thing for this project is going to be the acquisition of content. Basically the content I'm going to put in the app, in the service, I want to own the rights to that outright. And for that, and for creative people, people who know how to make content, you need to fork up good cash.
We're gonna pay cash.
I don't think this will be enough content to begin with. But the first part is going to cost 35,000 Swedish crowns, 3,500 euros and like $4,000. That's going to be just content acquisition. And I'm thinking probably Fiverr as well as other freelance services are going to be the major source of this content that I'm going to buy. We're going to pay them as well. They gotta eat, I guess. 35k. Okay, this pile is getting small. We'll leave that over there. This acquisition of content, that's where 35,000 Swedish crowns is going to. That leaves me with around 14k if we look at the coffee pods. With this 14k there will be a bit of different costs. Firstly, around 2k is going to be setup costs like website, domain, paying for the databases, for example. All that stuff is going to cost. It's not too expensive, that kind of stuff, actually, if you compare it to all this other stuff. But that's for the first year going to cost about 2,000 Swedish crowns. So we're going to put that one over there. That is costs related to websites, domains, data, operating costs, basically. Somehow we need to get customers through the door to begin with. And of course, this is going to be the most difficult part, and there's going to be a lot of free marketing going on, like Reddit, speaking to people on Instagram, just getting your friends and family to repost it to begin with, of course. But we probably need some kind of marketing budget. For that, we have around 12,000 Swedish crowns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is all gonna go to marketing. And exactly what this marketing is gonna go to hasn't been decided yet, because this product might be a year from release, for example. And we don't know what the socio-economic climate is gonna be like then. How's that for a word? So we'll see what Google ad costs are then. If there are any new, TikTok came up in a year, maybe there's a whole new platform where you can just get bargains on reach. We'll see. But anyways, to begin with, 12K for marketing advertising. Boom! That leaves me with nothing else. This is how I'm gonna spend the 77,000 which is in my bank account for this company right now. It's around probably 7,800 euros, 8.2k US dollars. And some of it, like you see, is just taxes and like shareholder equity. I can't touch that stuff, unfortunately. Now, in addition to this, per month from different things that I do, different commitments, doing social media for a company, building some websites, for example, I'm gonna get between 2.2 to 4,000 Swedish crowns per month, which I'm gonna be able to allocate to this. So that's gonna be running cash flow to begin with. And I'm probably gonna spend all of that money on content acquisition to begin with. Just build up that base of content which I own, because that content is gonna be, or owning that's gonna be so valuable in terms of all the things you can do with it. If that doesn't work out, for example, I can leverage, put it on Spotify, make some money back that way. I can just do so much more if I own it, and that's why I think it's gonna be much better to acquire content to begin with. Moreover, all the good people say focus on your product first. Like Tesla, for example, this is nothing like Tesla, like you can see. I'm doing my finances with the coffee pot in my living room. Elon Musk, for example, said focus all your attention to begin with on your product, and then people will come. I don't really know if that's necessarily true for the consumer products like these, but it's worth giving it a shot. I don't really have another option. Now, look at all these coffee pods. This is a lot of cash, I know. Actually, it's probably not that much cash for some of you, but for some of you, this is probably a lot of cash. And if I tell this to some people, they'll be like,
do you know how many startups fail in the first year?
Becky, I know. Trust me, it's like, what, 99.5% of all companies fail within 10 years or something like that. I am bloody aware of that. But think about this. This is $8,000, 75,000 Swedish crowns, 7,600 euros. I know people who have spent 500,000 Swedish crowns, 50k dollars on a master's degree. It's 1 year you go to university, a shitty university somewhere in Europe, and you study astrophysics, or you study entrepreneurship, or you study strategic management. I'm not shitting on formal education, trust me, I have a bachelor degree myself. But what I'm saying is, if you think about everything that I'm going to learn from this process, partly why I'm documenting this as well, this is going to be the best 75,000 Swedish crowns I spend in my entire life. This could fail tomorrow, okay, maybe not tomorrow. This could fail in half a year, and it will still be the best 75,000 Swedish crowns I've spent in my entire life, hands down. Because after this, I'll have experience with this, I'll have learned from coding, I will have learned some marketing, I will have learned some legal stuff in terms of owning the right to the content, etc. I'm gonna learn so much. And I've already learned a lot, and it's been, what, a month. So, for me, this is gonna be the best 75,000 Swedish crowns I've spent in my entire life. And if people start shitting on it,
You can buy a watch for that. You can put that for a down payment for your next apartment. You can put that for a down payment for a car.
listen. This is an investment. People view formal education as an investment. You go, you get taught at a university for 1 year, you're not really into it, you're just doing it because that's what society tells you. Okay, I don't mean to get this deep now. That's my personal feeling towards formal education at this particular moment in time. But yeah, that's it. This is the plan, the money plan.
Money, money, money.
As you can see, there's a lot of coffee pods spread out in a lot of different ways. There's marketing, there's content acquisitions, there's shareholder equity, taxes, and then other costs, I guess, with this lonely pod over here. Hopefully this is a relatively solid plan. Obviously this is very simple down. I've done a bit more calculations behind all this, but this is what it's gonna look like. And hopefully if we come back in half a year, the coffee pods, there's more of them, hopefully, and there definitely needs to be because I drink a lot of coffee. And hopefully this plan actually works. We have enough content to publish the app. We haven't done any tax fraud. We have enough to cover our other costs are fixed costs, and we still have that shareholder equity in our account sitting there nicely. So, without further ado, thank you for watching and see you later.
I know we're acting stupid.